Hey guys, Kamen here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the deluxe Metal Cluster Hopper ProgRise key from Kamen Rider 01. This is a special ProgRise key which gives 01 his next power-up form. So, let's get started. First up, we'll take a look at the Metal Hopper key in detail. Now, the Metal Cluster Hopper ProgRise key can be seen as the next evolution of 01's main ProgRise keys, with Rising Hopper merely depicting a grasshopper on the cover, Shining Hopper taking the form of Grasshopper when opened up, like that. And now with Metal Cluster Hopper, it takes the form of a giant metal grasshopper. It's now twice the length of a normal ProgRise key, with the part that would be the length of a normal key just being the front half of the grasshopper, and then this extra bit being the back half. You can see that the cover now just depicts the head of the large grasshopper, and has an aesthetic similar to that of Shining Hopper, where it has a chrome color, this in this case being chrome silver, as well as depicting the rider face right next to it. You can see a lot of nice details extending across the two halves, and you do have little bits of neon yellow accents, very fitting for 01. Opening it up, you can see the image of, or rather the x-ray image of the grasshopper head, and you can see that the legs actually stick out a little bit thanks to this extender here. It does have the three sounds it makes on its own. First, the basic announcement.
Everybody jump!
It actually has two ability sounds.
Hidden Metal ability.
The first is Hidden Metal's ability,
Metal Hopper's ability.
and then Metal Hopper's ability. And you can see that, in this case, the lights actually light up the eye of the Metal Hopper.
Everybody jump! Hidden Metal's ability. Metal Hopper's ability.
Next, we'll use the Metal Hopper key with the 01 driver. And in this case, the way I activate the transformation is the same as usual, well, with scanning the key and then inserting it, but there is an extra step to completing the transformation, which you'll soon see.
Everybody jump! Authorize. ProgRise. Let's ride. Let's ride. Metal ride. Secret material. Hidden metal. It's not a crossover. It's high quality.
And there we have the transformation into Kamen Rider 01 Metal Cluster Hopper. As you can see, upon activating upon inserting the Metal Cluster Hopper key into the driver, after the ProgRise sound, it actually started its own standby sound. Then to complete the transformation, you have to take the back half of the ProgRise key, and then collapse it on top of the scan port for the 01 driver. And so that completes the transformation. Now you can also simply skip the standby sound in one of two ways. The first would be by immediately collapsing it.
Everybody jump! Hidden Metal's ability. Authorize. ProgRise. Metal rise. Secret material. Hidden metal. It's not a crossover. It's high quality.
And the second way is by simply inserting it while it's already collapsed.
Everybody jump! Authorize. Father Christopher. It's high quality.
There's also one more aspect of the transmission to show off, and that's this little trick for a way to continue the transmission if you leave it in standby for too long.
Everybody, jump! ProgRise. ProgRise. Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride.
Now this will keep going for about 30 seconds, so I'm actually going to cut until the point where it stops playing the standby sound, and then show you this little extra feature. So, as you can hear, or rather can't hear, the standby sound is now stopped playing, but there is a way to continue it if you push in the ProgRise key similar to activating a special attack.
Arrow impact. Time is almost up. Try again. Let's ride.
And that restarts the standby music. Though it is a little bit wonky trying to activate the full transformation that way, because as I did, you could easily accidentally press in the ProgRise key as you're trying to collapse it forward. Anyway, with that out of the way, we then press in the ProgRise key for the metal rising impact.
Metal rising impact.
In addition, one thing I actually didn't show off is how now with the ProgRise key in the full position for the transmission, the giant metal grasshopper now becomes a swarm of small metal grasshoppers, as that's essentially the power of Metal Cluster Hopper, being the power to control a sort of nanomachine army of small metal grasshoppers. Hence Metal Cluster Hopper. Now additionally, even though this part here does normally cover up the scan port, if you just lift it up like that, you can still add to the special impact with the bitrise, byterise, etc. Next, we move on to using the metal hopper key with the other drivers, starting with the shot riser.
Everybody, jump! ProgRise. Shot rise.
So there we get the transformation with the shot riser. And one interesting detail that you'll notice is that unlike with other ProgRise keys, where the follow-up sound is generally covered up by the sounds coming from the shot riser, in the case of Metal Cluster Hopper, it actually waits until those sounds are over before playing the follow-up sound, It's High Quality. And you have the Metal Rising Blast.
Everybody, jump! Metal rising blast!
And we can bring in the buckle for the Metal Rising Blast Fever.
Everybody, jump! Metal rising blast!
There is also an alternate version of the transmission with this, which happens if you activate the transmission without collapsing the ProgRise key.
Everybody, jump! Authorize. Shut rise.
Which is that it simply doesn't say it's high quality afterwards. Then we'll use it with the force riser.
Everybody, jump! Force rise.
And again, it doesn't say the follow-up noise until after the breakdown sound from the riser. Then we'll use the metal rising dystopia. And the metal rising utopia. And after that, we'll use it with the 1000 driver, using the little trick I showed in my 1000 driver review.
Setsumetsu Evolution. Everybody, jump!
As you can see, that does work, and it creates this cool image where we have the overlay from the driver covering up the face of Metal Cluster Hopper.
Rise.
And finally, we'll test out the weapon finishers by using it with the attached caliber.
ProgRise key confirmed. Ready to utilize. Metal Hopper's ability.
First, the metal rising Kamen Strash.
Metal rising Strash.
Then the metal rising Kamen Dynamic.
Charge rise. Full charge. Metal rising
And there we go. Overall, the Metal Cluster Hopper ProgRise key definitely has the feel of a power-up item, though with its larger size, unique gimmick, and overall, more in-depth feel. Definitely has a pretty interesting design going on, where it converts from a giant metal grasshopper into a swarm of grasshoppers. And it's cool that it basically has its own separate standby and transformation sounds from that of the 01 driver. Not to mention, it does change the look of the driver on the outside as well as on the inside. So you definitely get, a bit of a bigger package compared to other ProgRise keys. And of course, this is compatible with all the other devices, and it does work with all devices quite smartly in how it is timed to work along with those, as well as how it even has kind of a failsafe for if you leave it running too long and want to reset that standby music. Overall, this is definitely a recommendable ProgRise key, and definitely a good one to add to any 01 collection. Next time, I'll be doing a follow-up to this where I review the Deluxe ProgRise Hopper Blade and the RKF-01 Metal Cluster Hopper. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is KRX50, riding off.